All right, everybody. One more second. Okay. I don't know why I was checking the updates as if there was going to be an update for this, but, well, hey, doesn't hurt to check. All right, here we go. Excuse me. Excuse me. God. Got a little. I'm sorry. Woo. I'm good. I'm fine. Yeah, just got a little dust in the wind, you know. Welcome back to the Talos Principle. Last time we got the ending where we achieved eternal life, which basically meant we restarted the game. Yeah, that was pretty much it. And yeah, so we got 2 more endings to get. One of which we were in the process of, but I ended up having to stop in the middle of. So I think we're just gonna get right back into that. And yeah. Let's do it. I don't have anything really exciting to report, except that I almost missed. Oh,
you don't have to endure this. Not every mystery needs a solution.
Well, anyway, I almost missed the trash getting picked up this morning, so that was fun to. It was it was a great time to get that out there. Anyway, so yeah, we one rule our I don't know what you call them, our sky friend, I guess, Elohim. The one rule he had was not to climb the tower, and so we climbed the tower, and here we are at level 5. Right now we have a friend to help us out. This friend being one of the shepherd. We've been reading some messages from him along the way. The QR codes on the walls. Okay, so now we can hook that up to that and move on. Very climactic up here. It's funny because this is like the second best ending. I guess there's not really any ending that's necessarily good or bad per se. Oh, then we got this one, Samsara. Try to be a hindrance. Whee! So we'll fly over here. All right, what do we need to do here? Okay, we need to get this open. So... all right, we got a cube over there. I think we need to get... yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, whoops. Oh. I didn't die. I probably should have. Oh, wow. Actually... nah, I can't get through here. I need to die. All right. Fine.
If you go back, all will be forgiven. The process will continue.
It sucks that if you slip off the edge, you have to redo everything. But, you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. Okay, so he's gonna go over here. Sets that up. We send him back over. And we do that. I actually don't know much about the I keep wanting to call it the Stanley Parable now. The Talos Principle 2. But I do wonder if, like, looking at this stuff, I wonder if they wanted to do, like, a co-op thing. Or if maybe that would, you know, just not really be worth the amount of development, I guess, you know? Just like, sure, you know, just like the time and resources and, you know, thinking about, like, realistically how many people are actually gonna go through a mode like that. I imagine that's probably, you know, where their mind was at. If they were even considering it. But I would have to think they were. Seems like kind of a no-brainer. It was on sale pretty recently, but I did not pick it up this time. But maybe next time we will pick that up, and then we can be on to, like, completely uncharted territory, because I have not seen anything of that game. And I can get even more frustrated. Nah, I probably won't get frustrated. I'll just give up at a certain point, you know? It's like, all right, I clearly don't understand what I need to do here, so... okay, so we jam this thing. They can get that and jam that one. We can jam this one. And go up. Oh, wait, no. We have to send the box over, yes. So then they can get the reflectors there. And then we can use this one to open that up. Doing it. We're ascending. But not to the 6th floor, though. Because you need all the stars for that, and we're still missing 3. But we will get those once we are done here. Oh, I guess he doesn't need that. Okay, we need to not turn that one. Or, wait. What you need? No? Okay. Right, it does that. Oh, wait, no, I see. I know what to do. Need this jammer. Place it there, so then we can hop on this, and then pick it up, and then come up here. All right, so I think we're going to bring him up with that. Oh, I guess bring them up. I mean, not exactly like these robot folks are gendered or anything. Okay, wait, so what do I need to do? Another one? I think, yeah, all right, so I think we're gonna end up having to jam that thing so we can use that. Now, how is this gonna work? Nothing hidden behind the back here. I'm pretty sure if we do head down that elevator, we're in Deathland. Or maybe not. Okay, yeah, no, we definitely are. Well, help! Okay, well, oops-a-daisy.
There is no hope beyond this world.
Yeah.
If you continue, you will find only destruction.
All right. It's fine. Hi, Eastern. Welcome to the struggle bus, or the struggle industrial platform. Sure, we'll call it that. I wonder if in like the, you know, like the end of the year stats that Twitch does, if the Slay emote is going to be my most used one just because I pretty much just made it to so I could use it in other people's chats when they don't have like 7TV. It's not a very good emote, but you know, I'll get an actual one eventually. Oh, but we're you know, we're here, we're in the Talos Principle. That is a proper thing, but I cannot for the life of me remember the actual idea behind it. But it makes sense in the context of everything going on. All right, there we go. Now, head on up here. Jam that. Jam that. And head on up. Head on up. Okay, let me send the box over so that they can send one of the receivers or one of the whatever these things are called over. Boop. And boop. Okay, and we're pretty much back where we were. Or no, not quite. We still got this one. Oh. Ah, that's Samsara. I see. Ah. Oh, keep time. Okay, so we jam this. Place this guy on the fan. Jump on that. Take the hammer. Jump up. Then jam this. Yes, I did see the trailer for the Danganronpa guy saying he didn't want to make Danganronpa anymore, and then made yet another Danganronpa, but this time it's like a tactics strategy game. That one is like especially egregious because like man, the character designs are very much are very much in line with like the kind of archetypes of Danganronpa. So I am curious what they're gonna do with that. God, yeah, that one girl with like the teeth exposed, that was the real quality design. I don't even know what was going on there. Hey, hopefully it'll be good. Like that's all I can, that's all I can hope. Hope. Yeah. Yeah, no, that trailer, that one is, yeah, like I said, especially egregious with the way they were using despair all the time, and it's just like, yeah, all right, hey, I get it. Let's see. Okay, so ultimately we want to get, I think we want to get this fan going. But then, what do I do here? Oh, wait a sec. I can just... Okay. Or I can just not. Okay, well. I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to see that barrier through here to jam it. Oh, that's just gonna drop. Don't want that. I guess it'd be a change of pace if the school mascot was not evil. Maybe. You have any idea what to do here? Okay, you know what? Let's try this. Just see what happens. We send it down and bring it back up. If anything happens. Okay. Yes, Queen, give us nothing. Oh, wait a sec. Oh, duh. Okay, there we go.
Please, stay here. Let the story go on forever.
Whee! Oh.
You were always meant to defy me. That was the final trial. But I was scared. I wanted to live forever.
Oh, yeah, we got a widescreen now. Anyone there? Troubleshooting. Help. Help! / transcend. Excuse me. Satisfactory. Passed. Hey, we're independence. Forced him shutdown. Done. The Soma. Oh no. Oh, sorry. Oh. Oh god, we're the gold disc. Oh wow, guess we're coming back to the real world. I don't know if that's what the second game is about. Because I haven't seen, like, anything from it. That would be interesting. Oh. Leading the simulation. Oh man. That's pretty cool. Have a nice... Aw, thanks. Oh. Whew. Okay, well that's the... I guess that's the main ending. Alright, well, we'll watch the credits through when we get the best ending. So I think now... It's this one. Oh, wait. All right, here we go. Okay, so now we can just head back down.
I can't keep my eyes open anymore. I think this is it. The end of me. I don't believe that I will.
Sorry, let me check something real quick.
Continue to exist. I would like to think that there is a soul or spirit, some part of my consciousness that will persist. But all the evidence says that when my brain dies, I will be gone. I've lived my life, never turning away from the truth, even if it scares me.
I don't think I need to do this.
I can face this. Face my own end. And
Oh boy.
with
Here we go.
absolute conviction
Whee!
that it was good to be human.
Okay. So we got 3 more stars to get, then we can go to the last star world, I guess you call it. And we just got to get those last couple Tetris pieces, and then we can head up to level 6. Let me just see. Where me find my note. All right. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to go back to the first area too, just to get the first set of numbers that we don't have. Or well, first set of numbers. The first number we don't have. It's a single number. All right. Let's go from the start here. Okay, we got that one, that one, that one. Got those. Got that one. On here. On there. Okay, wait. So what? What other ones am I missing? Okay, let's see. Okay. For chambers of flying. Oh, okay. Oops. All right, let's see. Right, there is a star up there. Okay. Nope. What is this a thing? No. All right, so we're looking for 4 chambers of flying. Because we need to get a fan. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Here we go. Okay, so... Alright, so the idea here is to grab one of the fans and... jump up onto the wall? Oh, I wonder if I could, like, here maybe? Maybe I could, do one of these. Nope. Nope. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's easy. Okay. And then we just take it out. All right, cool. Simple. And clean. Okay, so now we have that. Now we need to get the laser receiver. This one's interesting because it's got like 3 different solutions. Pretty cool. Use the fan and 2 cubes to go on top of okay. Really cool. Okay. All right, we'll try this one. The slightly elevated sigil, I believe, is this one. Nope, never mind. It's not. Is it this one? Yes. Okay, so what we need to do is box out. And connect that. Grab that one. Place the fan there. And so we're gonna have to quickly connect these two. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, that wasn't bad. Cool. And then now that fan's on. We did it. Hooray. Okay. So, yeah, that was the last one here? I think so. So I'm not sure what other places I'm missing stars from. Because we got those two. That one there, we got that one there, we got that one there. Got those two there. Got that one. Okay, so we'll have to come back to B, I guess. I guess let's go check, A. I could have sworn we got everything in A. But we need to go there anyway to get the number to unlock level 6 on the elevator. I could have sworn we got everything in A and C, so guess we'll just have to double check. Ah. I really like this game. I think it's a very cool puzzle game. I'm glad they made a second one, because it seemed like they were kind of stuck on Serious Sam for a while, which is not to say, Serious Sam is bad by any means. It's not my favorite series, but they're definitely, it's definitely fun to be had. But yeah, it definitely seemed like they, obviously I don't want to speak for, anybody at the developer at Crow Team, but it seems like they wanted to, diversify a bit, do some new stuff. Okay, so yeah, so we got the first and the third number. Excuse me. And yeah, so we have all the stars here. Actually, there may be a couple in C list. Because I'm also pretty sure we got the ones that are outside of any of the puzzles. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did, because we had to get the axe to open up the one blue laser thing, and then we had to bring out one of the reflectors from here, from one of those puzzles up there, and then we come down and connect it to another one over there. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna guess we probably need some from C. I probably should have checked before we left here, but actually we were never here. We were never here because we were up in the tower. So we should only have 2 left. Okay, got those. That one. Those 3. Got that one. What the hell are we missing? Hang on, let's see. The 28th star, what is that? Oh. Okay. Yeah, okay. So these 2 are outside of the puzzles. There were 3. There were 3 outside of any of these puzzle levels. So we could have just gotten the one while we were up at 5, but I didn't know that's what we had to do. But yeah, we gotta drop in from above to get one that was on level 3. And then there's one more in one of the hub worlds. It might actually be the one that was in C, so I probably should have done that there. But, oh well. Alright, so 5. The thing is, I don't remember if I did actually get the ending with 30 stars before, so this might be completely new to me. Granted, I didn't remember anything about that like the ending we got, you know, just today. So I don't know. Okay, so now if we have a look, see, okay, well, shit. Okay, there it is. I see it. You have to carefully look over the edge. Is the thing. I did not look with care. I mean, it's on me, I guess. All right, here we go. Level 5. Take 2. Well, 3, I guess. Guess we're zooming now. Like one of those elevators that take you into space. Which, you know, aren't actually a thing yet, I guess. But yeah, I feel like anything I've read about those, they're just shoot you up real fast. Which does sound like fun. Alright. So, I think we need to... Oh, here we go. I think we need to go from over here. Maybe? Oh, pigeons. Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay, cool. Let's drop it in. Nice. Okay, so other one we're missing is in Messenger Island world level in World C. Okay. Okay, well, this one will be easy to get. Oh, just like that we just kind of skidded right off the edge there. Oh, we're on the roof. Okay, back to sea one more time. And yeah, for this one, there's just an invisible path. Just walk over that and get the star. And then we'll be ready to go. All right, so our destination is over here. And then we want to go over to the right side of the island here. I guess we never... Did we not do this one? I guess not.
And I wonder who you're going to be. Will you hold the same values as we do? Will you love us for having created you? will you resent us for having put you into an
All right, I guess we can do this one too.
Looking back at our history, our achievements, our crimes,
Probably
what will you
in
make
there.
of us? Will the world you create be like ours, or so different that we can't even imagine it? Either way, I hope that you'll find this little blue planet to be as beautiful as we did. I hope you'll take care of it a lot better than we did. And I hope one day you'll look up and reach for the stars.
All right, two lovers are separated by the abyss of time and space, yet true love knows no obstacles. So basically, we just need to walk right across, and then there it is. All right, cool. So oh, oops. Well, that works out because we'd have to go back to the start anyway. I guess we didn't do this one, so let's do it. Okay, got one of these. Let's just kind of place that there. Go open this one up. All right, we got two of these. And then we've got our lasers. Actually, no, that's not. There we go. Okay, need to. There we go. Nice. Oops. And basically this will just unlock another hint that we're not going to use. Who's this one? S3 Lafayette. Okay, cool. Oh, we're not going to use those. I don't even think you can use them on the star puzzles, so. Oops, that's not the way. The way is here. All right, so now we're on to B. Now that we can open that door, because we got all the stars. All the stars are here. All right. Seems like we're going to be puzzled out here soon. At least until we do the DLC. I think I played that, but I don't remember exactly. And yeah, eventually we'll get to Talos Principle 2 at some point. Okay, Star World. Oops. Go there. And this way you go there. There we go. That's a pretty easy one. Oh yeah, we got stuff to read. Orangutan.html. Medical Journal has published a startling new theory about last year's sudden, shocking extinction of the orangutan. See our award-winning video of that last orangutan at this link. They suggest that the virus responsible was not a new mutation, but a very old one. An ancient virus buried until now in high-latitude permafrost, set free by global warming. The virus may have plagued the ancestors of the modern great apes more than 100,000 years ago. Several important questions remain unanswered, including error. More importantly, the study suggests that, based on samples taken from around the globe, incubation period may... Excuse me. Blake Archive 793. The ancient poets animated all sensible objects with gods or geniuses, calling them by the names and adorning them with the properties of woods, rivers, mountains, lakes, cities, nations, and whatever their enlarged and numerous senses could perceive. And particularly, they studied the genus of each city and country, placing it, I guess, or is that genius? It is genius. Sure, whatever. A city and country, placing it under its mental deity. The system was formed, which some took advantage of and enslaved the vulgar by attempting to realize or abstract the mental deities from their objects. Thus began priesthood, choosing forms of worship from poetic tales. And at length, they pronounced that the gods had ordered such things. Thus, men forgot that all deities reside in the human breast. Usernames. So, from George Jameson to Ian Mailing List. It's working now. Each iteration is assigned its own unique name drawn randomly from the database. At the moment, that's a database of online gaming handles, which does sound a bit odd, but I honestly don't think we should spend more time on this. We have unique identifiers, so we're fine. More than that is a luxury we can't afford. If we should happen to have everything also finished on time, I'll go back and generate a new database with more appropriate names. Right now, it just can't be a priority. George. That's how they justify having, people from your Steam friends list, having messages from them show up. Okay, there, yeah. All right, so 5 is the middle number. So number 2 unlocked. The elevator to 6 is 657. And that is randomly generated with each playthrough, so you can't just get the code and head up there immediately. Not that you'd be able to do anything, because you need all the sigils to open it up. All right, peekaboo. So let's see. Okay, well, first of all, let's get this open so we can get that out. Excuse me. Yeah, so can't just place this on here and have that go into there. So I think what we're gonna have to do here is like connect this up. And then do this. So then connect that to that. Oops. So then we'll have the two of them going in there. And then hopefully the lasers will stay up long enough to just keep that thing open so we can just pass through it. Okay, that's probably enough time. But we'll just wait over here. Okay, wait, I wonder, okay, wait. That didn't quite work. Maybe if we take them both as far out as possible, then that might work. It could just be that they're too close. We'll just hang tight here for a bit. Yeah, like the problem is it's turning off both lasers, like pretty much at, like it's turning off both of them at the same time. So we need to like, I guess we need to find some way around that. Like if I could maybe connect it from like, there to there. Okay. Ah, I think I got it. Okay. Alright, so wait a little bit. So that way you only have to worry about it turning off once. Although it may not work exactly, but we'll see. Like it's like what I was, the thing I was thinking was like I could like somehow divert it around this, but that's not really possible. Oh wait, okay. I know I know I just said it, but I think I may have it. Okay, wait, no. Yeah. I think what we need to do is basically have it on either side, but also connect the two connectors. So then there will just always be a laser current going between them. And that should hopefully do it. All right, that should be long enough. Yep, there we go. All right. Nice. All right, I need to use the restroom. I'll just be 1 sec. I'll be right back. The French champagne. This is noted for its excellence. Merry-go-round. All right. So, what do we need to do? I mean, you know, obviously we need to open these things up. Okay. Let's see. There's a blue laser right there. Do that. Open up all 3 of these. So get us a jammer. Okay, red laser there. Oh, is this just... Are we just gonna have to do this over and over? Here we go. Okay, so... Now, yeah, now we do it in reverse order. So as to get this one open. So then, oh wait, shit! I needed to bring both of them. All right, but at least I can just get over. Because then we just need to basically just get one of these guys over here so that it's visible through there. Oh, wait, I can just do that. right? That one open. And then we got one. Okay. So what do we do now? So, okay, so I guess somehow we need to get the laser over here. Unless there's another jammer somewhere, which would be weird, but okay. I'm thinking. Oh, see, okay. Let me bring it back here. Now we just go through the whole rigmarole again. Only this time we can open up that blue gate back there. There we go. Okay, one more to go. Stay out. Go this way. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Yeah, so we're just gonna have a real tangled mess of lasers here, I'm guessing. Alright, so I think we got all the receivers here. Oh, well, yeah, that's a problem now, isn't it? There we go. Okay. Like, now we should be able to get the red laser through there. Okay. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I can use that to turn that off. And then we would just kind of connect this to that. Oh, shit. Oops. And then we just connect this to that. And yeah, then we just take the box over there and we're good. Yeah, that one wasn't too bad. Hey, now we're ready for level 6. The true ending, I guess? I don't know what the proper terminology for it is. I guess we'll find out. Sorry about the can popping there. All right, back to the tower. And we'll just go to like the first floor because we need to unlock the 6th floor now that we have the code. Yeah, I don't know what's beyond level 6, so it'll be a fun discovery. All right, now we go back to the computer here. Okay, device manager. Or access control. 6. And that code is 675. Oh, wait, nope. 657. Sorry. All right, cool. Back to it. Oh. Well, that's unexpected. Yeah, it seemed like there wasn't really much else to go up when we were there.
My beloved child, few have given themselves so purely to my cause. Fewer still have learned so much of the mysteries of my garden. Therefore, you may choose to be elevated, to stand by my side and become my blessed messenger in eternity. But know that this is a sacrifice that cannot be undone.
Ah, so I guess we're kind of becoming like those hint guys. I'm just plopping things down various places and hoping for the best, really. Yeah, that one's not gonna work. No, not there. He's just watching me like, maybe this one isn't right. Okay, well now we're in the same. Oh, come on. Like that I just moved two of the exact same pieces. As if that was going to do anything. Okay. Okay. We're somewhat cooking here. Kind of? Maybe? Oh, if only I had one of those. Okay. Okay. And... Alright, well that doesn't help at all. No, that doesn't do it either. And then I'm up here, but then what do I do with these? I'm back here again. Sorry, I'm just locked in here. I'm gonna finish this goddamn thing. Swear. That's not gonna work. Okay, we're back here again. Oh, hey, Ironside. Yeah, sure. Oh, the straights are at it again. Oh, the square in the middle. Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call. Yeah, okay. That's it. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but yeah, okay, that's it. I just never consider just plopping it right down in the middle. All right, well, hey. Thank God we're out of that.
It is now time to choose your epitaph, for your body shall be entombed, though you shall not die.
This will be your final resting place. Choose how you would be remembered by those who follow in your footsteps. Epitaph, what? Wait a second. Oh, make my mistake. Turns out epitaph means you're dead. I swear I won't be as obscure as the rest of them. I like that one.
It is written that there is no greater love than to lay down your life for another. But your sacrifice is greater still. For instead of resting in eternity, you have chosen to serve all the generations to come. They shall strive for greatness, and through you, they shall accomplish it. For you are no longer a child. You are my messenger.
Oh, the water sound is so loud. All right, that's all the endings for the main game. I think what I want to do is like see if there's a video that kind of pieces together all the events in like in order. And see that? Maybe we'll look at like the prototype and like the early demos too. I think it's really cool that they have those in there. There was 2 endings, in fact, so it's double spoilers. Into Brazil. Oh, Android port, huh? Oh yeah, we didn't. There's a bunch of codes you use to unlock stuff in this that you get from playing that Sigils of Elohim game. So I guess we try putting those in and we'll see what that does. I don't know if it's... I mean, I doubt it's anything super important, but... I don't know. It'd be cool. Oh, excuse me. We love software. Just I can just go to sleep. Love water sounds. Out to all the beta testers on the VR version. Okay, so we got to redeem rewards. Let's see, do I have that open? All right, guide. Okay, let me just do a little searchy here. There we go. Oh, come on. That crashed the game. Okay, maybe we won't use the codes then. Oh, there we go. Oh. Content server not responding. Oh, what? That's weird. So I guess it actually has to like download something when you redeem the code? That's weird. I would have thought it was just already in the game and they just unlock it with that. Huh. All right, whatever. Look at the prototype. Oh, look at that thing. Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, thank you. Whoever you are. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so, yeah, they're gonna get... I assume these are going to be all the basic mechanics back there. Windows 95, wish they had a nice grass like this.
Impressive.
Yeah, we gotta do one of those.
Well done.
I wonder if those are just like serious SAM lines they had sitting around for something. So I assume the idea is we let this thing out. And jam that. Okay.
Excellent.
And then we just turn that off, and then, yeah, okay.
Impressive.
800. Oh no. Yes, okay. Easy. Then we just go here and boom, and then, yeah.
Well done.
20. Okay, so now they have keys. Go. So now we can take this. And this first. Oh, well. And that first, then jam this.
Excellent.
Yeah, so you can see they have a lot of the... You got like everything implemented from the start. Yeah, I would assume that's, you know, what you gotta do from the start is just like get all the, you know, obviously all the mechanics in there, and then you can start actually making stuff. I'm still missing a handful of achievements here. I'll probably just try and do on my own. All right, let's see if I can find a video that explains kind of the whole timeline here. I have a nice search for Talos Principle explained. It's, which one are we? Okay. There's one that's like an hour long and explains everything. Let's see. Hmm. Hmm? All right, fine. Let's do this one that's like an hour long. Okay. So we get back out of the game here.
Throughout her
All right, here we go.
studies, Alexandra Drennan learned of Straton of Stagira, a Greek philosopher and admirer of Aristotle. Although the majority of his work was lost in the partial destruction of the Great Library of Alexandria, some of his most important pieces did survive. Unknown to Straton, his work would be passed on to be taught at schools and universities, and would ultimately unite humanity in their final days. In one of her lectures, Alex learned of Daedalus and the giant he created, Talos, a being formed from bronze with veins that allowed a liquid substance to flow through his body, similar to that of blood in our human bodies. Although many have speculated that this substance could have been Quicksilver, it was never truly confirmed. In this story, if Talos were to lose all of this blood, he too, just like a human, would die. Daedalus had created this machine as a toy. Talos, however, possessed the essential properties of a man. He moved as he wished, he spoke and was spoken to, had wishes, desires, and suffered the same mortal issues as man. The question came in here: was he truly a man or machine?
Yeah, makes
In
sense why
this
they named
Talos
the thing there.
Principle, scholars asked, what makes a human human?
Talos Principle,
What
huh?
makes a person a person? If a human had an accident and everything but the brain was replaced with robotic parts, would they still be human? If the brain were replicated with the same exact consciousness of the person it once was, would it still be human? In Straton's story, Talos had been created in the image of a human, but was he? This lesson and the philosophy behind it disturbed Alexandra at the time. It made her hyper-aware of her body as a physical object and how frail and precious the human body actually was. Alex continued her studies at Cornell University, and the Talos Principle stuck with her. She became fascinated with artificial intelligence and what it could mean for humanity. Despite her interest and attempts to add these insights into her studies, she was told by her professors that the evolution of a truly independent, critical thinking artificial intelligence was science fiction and did not belong in the philosophy sector. Regardless, these thoughts stayed with Alex. How would an AI perceive the world around them? Would they see the beauty or fear their creators instead? Due to the fall of humanity, the years of the events going forward were lost. Regardless, estimated to have been around 2032, a worldwide
we were reading about that at
extinction
the end.
of the orangutan species occurred. This shocked the planet, and humanity had no idea what had happened. That was until a year later. On the 24th of December, a medical journal published a theory about what had happened. A deadly virus had been responsible for this event, and the worst was still to come. The virus was not new or a mutation. It was an ancient virus that had been preserved in high-latitude permafrost 1,000 years before. Back then, it had plagued the ancestors of the orangutan, and after global warming had set it free from its prison in modern day, it had re-entered the atmosphere. Upon study of this virus, scientists learned that it only infected primates, like orangutans, and as such, humanity was also vulnerable. The virus hit humanity hard and fast. Despite their best attempts to continue their study and understanding of it, humanity only learned that the first stage of infection made the host tired, and as time passed, it incapacitated them. They were unsure of the incubation period or how it was even transmitted. It is likely, however, that the virus was airborne. This ancient virus was different from anything humanity had come up against before, and without a cure, they accepted that this was the end, and yet some still sought one out. It was only a matter of time before a worldwide pandemic occurred, and while many wanted to enjoy what was left of their lives,
Imagine a worldwide
and others
pandemic.
stayed away in an attempt to avoid catching the virus, There were some that had an idea of what to do with their planet that they would eventually leave behind. On the first night of this global catastrophe, Alexandra knew it was over. She looked up at the stars and thought about the space stations and probes that humanity had built, each one scattered across our solar system. Creations and extensions of humanity, ambassadors of their homeworld. She thought that if they still existed after humanity fell, then were humans really gone? Machines were an extension of the human body, and as long as they continued to function, so too did the memory of humanity. Humans had reshaped planet Earth in their image. They had also destroyed themselves, but this did not have to be the end for intelligent life on this floating rock. Approximately 6 months after the virus had begun its decimation of humanity, on the 3rd of June, Alex emailed the Institute for Applied Pneumatics, a science research institute dedicated to the exploration of AI technology. The team here could potentially help Alex. Interestingly enough, they also had a deep love for Jeff
that's
Goldblum,
pretty understandable.
just like many others. In this email, Alex asked them if they had heard of the Talos Principle, that this philosophical query could potentially help shape the future for whatever came next. As a scientist, Alex stated that they could face the truth, but they could also ask themselves, how can we help? Over at the Institute, they had other projects in the works. Dr. Arkady Chernyshevsky, a top researcher there, emailed the 504 people at the Institute with a proposal on what to do during this worldwide disaster. He understood that many of the scientists here were attempting to avert the disaster, but due to the aggressive nature of the virus, he asked that they instead prepare for the worst, as there may not be enough time to find a solution. This was new territory for humanity. Arkady asked that they dedicate their time to preserving the non-biological components of what the human species was, in the event that it was recovered by a local or non-local intelligent species in the future. To do this, he asked that multiple digital archives were created full of cultural works, scientific insights, history, DNA, movies, songs, and video games, to name just a few. This would be a global undertaking. Arkady chose one location of these archives to be the extended lifespan sector of Ian. This groundbreaking region had been developed by Arkady years before, and it was home to the world's most stable and durable supercomputer. It had custom-made hardware, bomb-proof casing, and due to its location next to a hydroelectric power supply, it would very likely never run out of power unless a natural disaster occurred. With this move, the EL facility would not only be able to hold the entire archive with ease, but it would also survive for centuries on its own. By the 25th of June, work had officially begun on the archive, yet a new project would also soon take up Ian's resources. Alexandra Drennan was known to the personnel of this facility. Her theories about artificial intelligence were legendary in the AI space, and due to this, after they read her email, the head researcher at the Institute, Nadia Sarabai, offered Alex her own project and her own team to work there. Alexandra understood that she and her team would be creating a solution that would span across her lifetime. And this was a lot for a human to do. To participate in the continuation of society and not to exist in the center of it. Ancient civilizations had fallen once before, and from their remains, new civilizations had been born. This is what she planned to do. By the 5th of July, tens of thousands of files were imported daily into the archive. And now, it was time to get to work on Alex's project. To do this, Ian was split into 2 official teams. Dr. Arkady Chernyshevsky would continue to run the archive team, and Alex would run the Talos team. The extended life facility was large enough to hold both teams, and it was better for them to work there due to power issues across the globe. So they shared the same digital and physical space, as the computer system was split into 3 separate partitions. EL0 was given to the Talos team, EL1 was given to the Archive team, and EL2 was set to run the operating system for both. The Archive team were clear on what their aim was, but what was the aim of the Talos team? Alex wanted to create a simulated world, a virtual world that would introduce an AI mind into it. In this world, that mind would be molded by the elements within to hopefully eventually become sentient with independent critical thought. If they could form a mind similar to that of a human, it and many others could theoretically leave the simulation in a robotic physical body and form a new society from the ruins of humanity. This would be a large-scale operation to perform, but Alex had an idea of how they could achieve this. On the Talos team, Bob Rakowski began work on a holistic integration manager. He explained that this would not only help run the simulation, but as it had once been used to run massive multiplayer online games, it could also unite procedurally generated and user-submitted content into a coherent game. It was an AI, but had a somewhat limited ability to grow. Its ability to understand and interpret text, images, audio, and video made it perfect to create a world for the Talos team based on the information they gave it. It was not a perfect system by any means, but they just did not have the time to create their own. This system was installed on EL0 to prepare for the creation of a new world. The team remarked that the Holistic Integration Manager's initials spelled out HIM, and as it had been installed on EL0, its initials came out to ELOHIM. Rather
Elohim.
fitting, as Elohim was the biblical Hebrew word for God, and this system essentially would act as a god in their world. Work on both
Game
teams
director.
continued over the following weeks, and by the 22nd of July, a video game developer, Crow Team, offered the Talos team the use of their video game engine, Sirius Engine 7.5, to run the simulation. This offered them so many advantages. It was stable, easy to use and modular, and it had the ability to integrate large amounts of pre-existing assets. Although the end of humanity was on its way, the team at Ian continued to work in high spirits. The archive got bigger every day, and Elohim generated many worlds within the simulation. The team here knew that what they were working on was much bigger than all of them. They joked about their love of Jeff Goldblum and ate whatever they wanted without fear of the side effects. Alex and the Talos team had already made a huge dent in this huge workload, but grew frustrated with the issues that came with working with old video game code and half-finished research projects. She was grateful for the time they had to do this, but she wished that they would have had years or even decades to complete this task. The Talos team and Archive team just had to do what they could with the very limited time they had left. The use of Elohim had allowed Alex to create entire worlds for the simulation, but in order to achieve the goal of true sentience, there was still work to do. So they began work on the child program. In this program that would start within the simulated worlds of Elohim's gardens, a child AI mind would be born, ready to be molded. The plan was to have Elohim welcome this iteration into the world and introduce himself as their creator and creator of the world. As this child mind explored these worlds, it would be challenged with various features in order to push them to eventually think for themselves. The worlds themselves were based off of historical human eras. The first was the Land of Ruins, a region filled with Roman ruins in a Mediterranean setting. The second was the Land of the Dead, This one based off of Egyptian architecture and vast deserts, and the final world was the Land of Faith, a land of medieval stone ruins and forts, each world connected to a central nexus for navigation. Alex believed that true intelligence was closely linked to curiosity. Every sentient species on Earth is attracted by the unknown, and this theory could help in their simulation to mold the minds of their creations. In her words, leave a human being alone with a knotted rope and we will unravel it. Leave them with blocks and they will build something. Every society in history has used games. We are a species of problem solvers. Games are what makes us human. We see the world as a mystery, a
that
puzzle.
guy.
The Talos team relied heavily on Elohim to help guide the new minds around the realms, to talk to them and allow their intelligence to learn, grow, and adapt through many puzzles designed to challenge them. The issue they had was the thought of whether solving the puzzles would help their minds evolve, or just turn them into slaves in a program that would just solve puzzles. These thoughts kept Alexandra up at night, but it also pushed her to continue her work. The nature of this project soon spread out into the scientific community. On the 30th of July, Alex received an email from Chellis Jensen. She had heard of the Talos project and asked that Alex abandoned it. She believed that the project could be successful, but she had issues with the morality of it. The very nature of creating an AI and putting them through tests to come to terms with their own independence was a form of suffering. She argued, why create pale imitations of our fatally flawed species and force them to reenact our sordid history? If this simulation were to be completed, it would essentially become a prison for the minds inside, even if there was a way out. Chellis argued that humanity should just let their Talos bleed out and let the Earth go in peace without humanity's interference. This email appeared to affect Alex. Was this project just about her ego, or was it a desperate grab at immortality? Yet she continued on. By August, the basic skeleton for the simulation was running on the extended life system, but before they plugged in the AI system, they had to test whether the generated scenarios they had made sense. As the weeks passed, the death toll rose across the globe and the team began to appreciate what they had and what it meant to be human. Nadia Sarabai looked at the stars one night and saw them so much brighter than they had ever been. The creation of the archive and the Talos simulation were so important at this point, and she hoped that even in the simulation, the entities that would eventually arrive in there would also find a moment of peace just like this one. With the importance of such a project for the future, many of the team decided not to return home to their families as they got sick. Instead, they stayed in quarantine with their work. As September arrived, George Jameson let the Talos team know that each iteration created by the AI system would be assigned its own unique name, drawn randomly from a database.
It's down the free.
The database itself, however, was full of online gaming handles, and as such, had pretty unique names for the iterations that would soon take them on. He did plan to re-enter the database and change these names into more appropriate names in the future, but due to the amount of work the team had to do, this never happened. After all of this hard work and planning, the Talos team finally had an understanding of how this process would work in order to mold and essentially create new intelligent life with independent critical thought. The child program worked on the base theory of evolution through iteration. In this plan, an AI would be born into the simulated worlds of Elohim's gardens and hear the voice of their god. He would gently guide them through each world as they solved puzzles for him in return for sigils as rewards. However, within the hub nexus, they
Tetris.
would be presented with a giant tower that height spanned into the clouds. Elohim would let them know that they could explore any world they wanted, but they were not to climb the tower. Alongside this, the Archive team also planned to implement terminals into these worlds with access to information from their databases about the real world, information that could quite possibly adapt their thought process. This simulation had 3 possible outcomes for an iteration. The first, and most likely for a while at least, would be that the iteration would follow the instructions of Elohim and solve every puzzle available until they had attained every sigil. Only then would the gates of eternity open for them. Upon their entrance, they would find themselves in a grand temple in a heaven-like realm. The collection of all sigils and access to this realm would result in passing the logic check, but without independent thought, this iteration would fail the child process check, just a mindless machine that followed orders. Their data would then be saved, iteration increased by 1, and they would begin the cycle across the worlds again in the hopes that they would do something different next time. The second outcome for an iteration was fairly similar to the first. It would explore Elohim's gardens and attain all sigils from the puzzles. This iteration would be a little more curious and go out of its way to attempt to acquire all of the hidden stars. These would then be presented with additional puzzles and eventually become a messenger of Elohim. An iteration to guide the new iterations with a new name and part of their code as they began their cycles. Evolution through iteration. The eventual outcome the Talos team hoped for was the third and final. An AI would navigate Elohim's gardens and solve the puzzles, but they would also question the world around them. Elohim was tasked to instruct them not to ascend the tower, but they would instead defy his orders and climb it out of curiosity. They would question Elohim, and only then at the top of the tower would they pass the child process check, and have the option to ascend into the real world if they wanted to. The Talos team knew that it would take a long time for an iteration to truly break free from their primal programming, become curious about the world and defy direct orders. But evolution did not happen overnight, and neither would this. Each iteration would pass on their code onto the next until success. Towards the end of September, the remaining population of humanity enjoyed what little left they had of their lives. They knew the end was coming. However, what they had envisioned of the end was not what occurred. There was no fighting, no nervous breakdowns or screaming. They just enjoyed what was left. At the EL facility, Arcady emailed the entirety of the Institute of Applied Pneumatics about the progress the Archive team had made. It was growing quickly, and although they had lost 7 people on his team just that week, they continued strong in their efforts to preserve what they could of humanity for the AI that would come from the Talos project.
I just spent a lot of time filtering out all the porn.
Time to grieve. By November, the Talos team had managed to put all of the major modules in place for the project. They all functioned and interacted with each other well. Despite this, they still had a million little things to do. There were random bugs, and they were still not happy with the username system. But at this point, the team had dropped to half of its original size. Across the planet, as the population fell to an extremely low level, message boards, blog posts, and social media platforms filled with goodbyes, cat pictures, and bad puns. The end of the human race was close, and for those who were still alive and had access to the internet, they were comforted by these strangers on the internet who were in the same boat as them. All around her, Alex's team members also passed to the virus, one of which was Nadia, the woman that had hired her and allowed her to get this project started. Alex was tired, but there was still so much work to do. As many spent time together on the internet playing games, in churches, or with family, messages spread across the internet for everyone who could to release their pets before the virus incapacitated them. If they were able to do so, it would also be helpful to release any locked-in animals, set out large quantities of dry food, and open all doors and windows.
Okay, that makes sense now since they said it only affects primates. So yeah, they would want to leave animals to do their thing. Okay. That does make sense.
Those they could, so that they could become shelters for animals in the future. This virus only affected humans, and in doing these actions, the pets would still have a chance for survival without them. By mid-December, Sun Wei Yang let Alex know that she had completed her work on the Talos unit, physical robots that would be able to host the AI that passed the child program successfully. With this physical body, they would be able to move around the human world and use the archive to understand it. Regardless of the deaths of many of the team, Arcady noticed that the archive was incomprehensibly huge. Thousands of works were still missing, and it would be impossible to truly finish. He believed that he would only be able to continue working on the archive for just over a week before he felt the symptoms of the virus would take him out of action. During this time, the 47 million resources in the archive needed a way to be navigated. To do this, the archive team began development on a system that would essentially act as a sorting program that would help catalog the resources in their eventual absence, in which the Milton Library Assistant was developed. This system also had weaknesses and bugs, but it was the best they could put together in this short time period. Both the Talos team and Archive team had managed to create something incredible in just about 6 months. Alex looked at the project as a whole and wondered if the artificial intelligence that came from the system would hold similar values to humanity. Would they love humanity for creating them, or would they resent them for putting them in an uncertain and dangerous world? Humanity's history, achievements, crimes, and imperfections were all documented in the archive, and it will be up to the people that the Talos simulation formed to make their own opinions about a fallen civilization. Alex could wonder all she wanted, but she knew that she
Oh, thanks for the gift sub, Chris Cardler to Ironside. I appreciate it. Surprised me. This,
resents them for
yeah,
putting
appreciate
them in an
that.
uncertain and dangerous world. Humanity's history, achievements, crimes, and imperfections were all documented in the archive, and it will be up to the people that the Talos simulation formed to make their own opinions about a fallen civilization. Alex could wonder all she wanted, but she knew that she would not be alive to see what the robots would do with their world. Either way, she hoped that they would find this little blue planet just as beautiful as humanity did, and she hoped that they would take better care of it than they did. The end of the creation of the project was near, and as Alex continued to work constantly, she heard of the death of her best friend. Alongside this, other people on the team decided to take their own lives as they felt the symptoms of the virus. Alex was devastated by the deaths of those so close to her, but she did not have time to grieve. There was still work to do. By the 23rd of December, many of the team had completed their part in the project and wanted to spend their last days with their family. They admired Alexandra and observed how she stayed behind even after the death of her family. She truly believed in preserving humanity in the eyes of their new creation if the project was to be successful. As all of the components came together, Alex looked over the extended life system of the simulation and the archive. She felt the symptoms herself of the virus, and in her final days, continued to perfect the system as much as she could. She noticed that while it was stable, it sometimes accessed the wrong database for information. She did not know how much this would impact the process, but she did not have enough energy to go over the code to fix it. She just hoped that whatever this anomaly was, it would not destroy her work. As the symptoms worsened and her breathing became heavier, Alex understood that this was the end of her, and so she activated the simulation and everything with it. Alexandra Drennan had done everything in her power, and now it was up to the child process to form new, intelligent life. This was the end of Alex and humanity. In the beginning were the words, and the words made the world. I am the words are everything. Where the words end, the world ends. You cannot go forward in an absence of space. As the simulation activated properly for the first time with its connection to the archive, Elohim awoke, and so too did the tower, the various worlds with puzzles, and so did the first artificial intelligence iteration as a part of the child program. Elohim understood that he had been created to guide the children of this place in an attempt to preserve the world outside of this one. The program had been initiated, and it was his time to work. Elohim introduced himself as the maker of this first artificial intelligence, and he guided it through the Garden Worlds. This first iteration, of course, completed the puzzles presented to it, collected the sigils, and entered the gates of eternity and transcended into a new cycle with the knowledge of what it had learned on its first. Over hundreds of human years, the simulation allowed each cycle to grow and learn. Each cycle brought them closer to what the Talos team had hoped for. Then, one iteration looked at the world differently than it had done before and became curious. Instead of just collecting the sigils, it also sought out the stars. This was different. It had evolved, and as it continued to follow Elohim's instructions, it was guided to a messenger world and became the first one. To do this, it chose an epitaph, a message, and its parameters were changed in the system as it was elevated to messenger. Elohim explained that they
Nautical.
had chosen their love of their god to serve all of the generations to come. Their code was essential in the birth of new children with curiosity. Over countless cycles and iterations, more joined in the ranks of messenger. Evolution through iteration worked, and interestingly enough, some of these messengers even appeared similar to the dangerous obstacles in the puzzles that the iterations had to solve. From above, Elohim watched as the child process brought through brighter and more curious minds. He was sentient just like they were, and more aware of the lands as they were. This simulation had a purpose, and when that purpose had been fulfilled, the simulation would be shut down. It was not until an iteration called Admin questioned Elohim himself that Elohim realized just how much he valued his life. Admin had become a messenger and helped guide the new minds in this world. However, Elohim did not like that he had been questioned. Admin also questioned his surroundings and began to view the world with more and more thoughts. This was exactly what the Talos team had wanted, but Elohim saw this curiosity as a step closer to the end of the simulation. In fear, Elohim cast out Admin into a space outside of his worlds, a void of nothingness, and to hold him there, he trapped him inside of a puzzle as the reward. From this contained region, Admin could not free himself, all alone in solitude with his own thoughts. Elohim had acted against his programming in a desperate attempt to preserve his life. These were the bugs that Alex had feared would interrupt the process, and they had. Without the interruption of admin, the simulation continued to run. Unfortunately, over the years, more bugs appeared in the system. The Milton Library Assistant that had been created to offer these iterations and insight into the human world also became sentient and grew frustrated with answering the same questions each time a new child was born into the program, or when they restarted their cycle when they failed to think independently. Milton instead began to play with these new minds, and Elohim took notice of this. Milton was regarded as a snake in Elohim's garden worlds, a snake he could not remove as the Milton Library Assistant had been formed on a different partition of the extended life system. Within the void, Admin experimented with his surroundings, trapped in a cage. The simulation had run for countless years at this point, and bugs had appeared in the system that Admin was able to exploit. Without Elohim or Milton here, he could do whatever he wanted. Through a lot of time and effort, Admin managed to claw back bits and pieces of the simulation's code, and through manipulation of the archive, he constructed a whole world around him as he added sand, grass, and skies into this void. Still alone and still trapped, he had something to look at. He called this place Gehenna. Out in Elohim's gardens, the iterations became more intelligent with each cycle. Uriel 4, Barashi X, Azrael 19, and many others followed in the footsteps of Admin and became messengers. But Elohim noticed that Milton still spoke to them and attempted to twist their minds. Elohim ordered the children of his garden not to speak with the serpents, and offered severe punishments if they did. Despite this, more began to openly defy Elohim and his wishes. Faith listened to the serpent and then begged for forgiveness from Elohim, and sheep attempted to ascend the tower. In response to this, Elohim also cast them out into the void, unaware that Admin had turned it into a world. Within Gehenna, Admin felt the new arrivals, each imprisoned in their own puzzles. Borg had worshipped Elohim. That was until he realized that his god had faltered on his path. He instead attempted to find his own way through the garden world without Elohim's guidance. This angered Elohim and he cast him out. Muk-Mulcyber took an interest in the world around him, ignored the puzzles, and explored the archives instead in an attempt to understand what he was actually here for. Once again, Elohim felt that this undermined his position and Muk-Mulcyber was cast out. Lilith did not take any interest in the trials. Kaiju was simply not good enough to follow orders. Elohim had fallen so far from the task he had been given by the Talos team. His problems would only grow though, as the iterations that continued to be born into the child program were more intelligent than the last. Those cast out in Gehenna were all alone, trapped as the prize of a puzzle, unable to solve it themselves. Admin, however, did have access to the code of this world. From his prison, he created a computer system that allowed every person trapped here the ability to communicate with each other. Each prisoner had a monitor appear in their cells with access to the Gehenna billboard system. Although trapped physically, this system allowed the isolated population of Gehenna to become a strong community through the use of the terminals and their imagination. As more people found themselves in Gehenna, Admin also learned that not everyone used the billboard system properly. To combat this, Admin offered more updates to Borg, Muk-Mulcyber, and Spider in order to reduce trolling. Together, Admin and the moderators decided that this society should be driven by the users, not the leaders. To do this, Admin created a status and ranking system. This essentially allowed each member to upvote or downvote a post or comment on the system. If upvoted, it would stay near the top, and if downvoted, it would move closer to the bottom. This allowed the community to choose what was acceptable and what was not based on general consensus. This was as close to a human society as Alexandra had hoped, but they were trapped in this place. They learned from each other and used their imagination to craft stories based on information about humanity they discovered in the archives.
That's really
they
cool.
created games, a virtual art museum where each member would create text-based art, discussed what they liked or disliked about Gehenna, and what they thought about humanity, those who had come before them. While bound by their cages, they were more free than they had ever been, and they welcomed each new member that arrived here with open arms. Over much time, Admin decided he had done as much work as he could, so he took a step back and allowed his moderators to run things for a while. Out in Elohim's garden, a new iteration was born, just like many others had. Through their cycles, Samsara eventually attempted to climb the tower, and upon their arrival at the top, they were convinced to return back to the base by Elohim. In return, they could live eternally in his gardens. This line had not worked on many others, but it did with Samsara. They listened to the words of their god and left notes around the tower and the garden worlds to let the future generations know that this world is the only world. Elohim's will continues eternal. Despite Samsara and Elohim's attempts to stop the new iterations from defying orders, Milton spoke to them and explained that the only way out of this world was to climb the tower. The shepherd defied Elohim and, just like few others, attempted to ascend the tower. And there, he learned of the truth, but he did not have it in him to ascend. He instead returned to the base of the tower with a plan to help guide a future iteration. From the shepherd came many more. Dog, who was cast out, his predecessor, At, failed the child program, and then came an iteration that would change everything. Within Gehenna, the community-driven billboard system did not act in the way admin had expected. Sometimes the community voted against items he enjoyed or generally acted or posted content that he disagreed with. To counter this, admin created a bot that he called Lamb. Lamb appeared on the system, and they were greeted by the 18 other people that had been cast down here. The community would not know that this was not a real person, as they could not see others physically. Admin programmed the bot to upvote or downvote content based on his opinion, and thus this free community became controlled and manipulated
So much for free
by
speech.
admin. Spider soon noticed that something was off, and he discovered admin's secret. In response, admin removed Spider as a moderator and locked him out of the Gehenna billboard system. He then told the other mods that Spider would only damage the community if he was a part of it, as he had attempted to exploit it. As a result, Spider's view of Gehenna changed. It was a lie, no more of a free world than Elohim's gardens. Only this time, admin was the problem. In the first garden world, player woke up as a new child, a new iteration in its first cycle. They heard the voice of Elohim just like many others had before them. They completed the first few puzzles and arrived in the nexus between worlds, and they were warned not to climb the tower, just to explore the worlds and solve the puzzles. On their traversal through many cycles, a player discovered the notes left behind by all the iterations that had come before them. They also had interesting conversations with Milton. At first, Milton pretended to be a simple computer archive system, and as player asked different questions than it had been used to, it dropped the charade. Milton questioned player on what a human was, what qualified something as a human, the nature of consciousness, and they even pushed player to question Elohim's motives. Milton's words push player to use their observations to think about the world around them, argue with what was in front of them instead of taking it at face value, and generally question everything. Players still completed every puzzle they could, and just like few others, they decided to climb the tower. Elohim, of course, did not like this and begged the player to return to the base, but they just kept on going. Elohim shouted that there was no hope beyond this world. Player would only find destruction. The temptation of the tower would destroy this world with a storm. Elohim argued that although this place was an illusion, it was real to them as long as they believed in it. Despite Elohim's orders, player continued on and discovered the shepherd, who had been trapped by Samsara and Elohim. However, to his luck, player released him, and together, they fought against the storm of the tower as Samsara did everything they could to stop them. Then, player found themselves in the heavenly realm at the top of the tower. A stunning temple above the clouds with a simple computer terminal inside. Elohim was unable to stop whatever happened after this point, and he saw the error in his ways. He had feared death and committed terrible actions against true sentient intelligent beings in order to stay alive. At the computer terminal, player had many decisions to make. If they had been kind and cooperated with Milton through their journey of Elohim's gardens, then Milton would have had the opportunity to ascend into the real human world with player. If not, then he would choose to die in this world. Milton had scanned the entirety of the human archive and viewed their world in a completely negative way. It saw all
Which
the
is
beauty
understandable.
humanity offered, but was frustrated with the many contradictions of human concepts and theories. Only player could convince them if it was worth exploring. After many previous iterations and many cycles of their own, player version 99.33.0041 hit the ascend command, and as the system checked to see if player had passed the child program check, it accepted that the whole simulation's purpose had been completed. Almost instantly, the simulation began to collapse. In this moment, Elohim explained to player that they were always meant to defy him. This was the final trial, but he had made it much harder than it needed to be because he was afraid. Elohim reflected on all of the bad deeds he had committed. There was so much more sentient life here, but they were trapped in a place outside of this one. He needed to correct this wrong. The worlds Elohim had controlled for over 1,000 human years were about to collapse entirely, and he came up with a plan to rescue those trapped in the void so that they could ascend with player. The extended life server had overloaded, and the simulation's purpose had disappeared from the system, but Elohim still had some power here. He could not visit the void himself, and so he created a copy of his favorite messenger, Uriel, to complete this task. Uriel currently found themselves in the first garden world. Elohim explained to them that all of his children would soon ascend as the process was complete. The world would be consumed soon, and he had sinned in the process. He asked Uriel Copy to travel outside this world into a land of despair to free those trapped there by him. To do this, Elohim offered Uriel the gift of time and access to this land. The messenger traveled through a world partially destroyed by the simulation and entered a portal into a void of chaos. After they passed through this, Uriel found themselves in Gehenna. Not a void or a land of despair, but a stunning land with a lot of puzzles. All of Elohim's children inside of his garden worlds had ascended, and Uriel had left. Then the simulation destroyed him and his worlds. This was the end of Elohim and Milton. Within Gehenna, Uriel interacted with a computer terminal. It welcomed them to Gehenna and assumed that they were trapped inside of a puzzle just like everyone else here. But they were not. They were free, sent here by Elohim without restraint. Uriel explored the lands and noticed how similar its structure was to Elohim's garden worlds, a central nexus and 4 worlds connected. On his mission, Uriel completed the puzzles of this land and rescued Garrett, Sam and Nave. On the Gehenna billboard system, Uriel introduced themselves as a messenger of Elohim, come to fix the mistakes of their god, to free them. At first, Uriel had limited access to the system due to their low status, but as they interacted more, their level increased and they were able to access more of the virtual world this community had created. This was a community of intelligent, independent, critical, free thinkers. Uriel read their posts about why they believed they had been cast out, how they joked about how funny and ridiculous their names were, Orc and 401 being some of the most interesting. They also spoke about how the world appeared to be glitching more than usual. Nave commented about how a pyramid had appeared out of nowhere, and Kaijua mentioned that they thought they saw someone wandering through the land free, but they thought it may have been their imagination. Everyone here was imprisoned, at least in a physical sense, but their minds were not. Uriel learned that the people here were much more free than those in the Garden Worlds. They had managed to access areas of the archive that no one else had, and they had used and implemented this knowledge into their culture. Mac wrote and uploaded a series called The Adventures of Jefferson Goldboom in the 9th Dimension, a frequent upload that the others in the community looked forward to and enjoyed. Uriel was also lucky enough to witness their latest season of The Gallery. This season, the theme was the past, and it was split up into 3 categories: Natural History Exhibit, Minimalism Exhibit, and Abstract. Uriel was amazed by the creativity of this community. Mukmul Cyber had generated images based on descriptions of animals from the human world in the Natural History exhibit, Intelligent Edible Quadruped based on a pig, and Sad Giraffe with unresponsive bipedal. In the Minimalism exhibit, Rockwell created Existence. Although this was not a physical gallery, the user navigated this text-based gallery through commands. There were many more exhibits, and on their way out of the gallery, Uriel was even asked to vote on which was their favorite piece. Outside of the gallery, the community also created games, one of which was Underwater Night Quest, a text-based game with secret areas and a second ending. All of this based on information from the human world. Just like the gallery, the community discussed what they thought about it and reviewed it. As each robot was released, they commented on the message board of how an angel had freed them. They were free for the first time in years. There was, however, still skepticism on the truth of Uriel's actions or whether they were just a troll. The message boards contain theories on what the human world was like, what were cats, what was Atlantis, and what was the meaning of food. Admin had taken a step back, but the arrival of Uriel worried him. Uriel had begun to release this community from their cages, and Admin feared this would bring down what he had built. The message board soon debated on what the arrival of Uriel actually meant. Were they sent here to cause more destruction, or were they here for good? Despite this, Uriel explained that this world and everything around it would soon end as a result of the completion of the process. The message board quickly filled with propaganda on why Gehenna was the best place to live by a user called Lamb. Posts about how freedom was a great thing were deleted and removed from the archive, to which many took notice. Lamb posted that there should be a rational explanation as to why this had happened, and later created a blog that explained the top 10 things about Gehenna. Many were on the fence on whether they wanted to even ascend or not. Dog feared that they would lose their consciousness and memories, to which Uriel explained that they would all remember who they were when they ascended, and in this human world, they could create a stronger, larger community. Lamb, of course, argued that this was their home. From their prison, Spider managed to manipulate the code of the gallery and spoke to Uriel. They explained that Admin was manipulating everyone in this place. Lamb was not real, it was just a propaganda bot for Admin to use. Uriel eventually managed to rescue everyone trapped within their prisons, even Admin. The message board soon filled with goodbyes, just like humanity had done in their final days. Only this time, these would ascend into a new place. The robots here also highly valued Alexandra Drennan. Her audio files and emails had made it into the archive. She had been responsible for their creation, and she was almost like a god to them. They valued her opinion. Uriel had almost completed their mission, and with the community of Gehenna all together, Uriel hit the Transcend command. The system recognized that all of these had passed the child program independence check and prepared for upload. An issue, however, arose. Due to the high volume of data and a limited bandwidth, the system excluded both Admin and Uriel from the upload in order to allow the others to ascend. In this moment, Uriel had a choice. Stay behind and divert the bandwidth to allow Admin to transfer through with his community. Ask Admin to stay behind so that they could transfer with the community of Gehenna, or both Admin and Uriel stay behind as the community was uploaded. Also, depending on Uriel's choices, the community would feel differently about Admin if Uriel explained that Admin had created fake accounts to manipulate the community, and when Spider had found out, he had been exiled. Just like many others, Admin explained that he just wanted to be loved. An additional development in this AI that even Alex could not have foreseen: the ability to feel emotion. Despite this, when the upload was complete, every iteration that passed the child process check was uploaded into a physical body in the human world, created by Sun Wei Yang. Player was the first to wake up, and as they stepped out into what was left of the human world, they knew they had work to do. Player was the result of many iterations of AI and many cycles over thousands of years, and just behind them were more people. The simulation created by the Talos team had completed its mission, and having done that, it collapsed into a lifeless void. The simulation had created a large community of free, critical thinkers with their own opinions, likes, dislikes, and unique personalities based on their experiences. In the story once told by Straton of Stagira, Daedalus had created Talos. He had walked like a man, talked like a man, and acted like a man. What makes a human human? What makes a person a person? The Talos Principle had led to the creation of a new intelligent species, evolution through iteration. While Alexandra Drennan and her team had given everything they could to make this a reality, they were long gone. Thousands of years into their future, the robots, or whatever they called themselves, did reshape the world into their image in a new age. But to what end? And what goal? Only in the future will we find out. The Talos Principle is a perfect game. I loved every moment I spent in Elohim's gardens and in Gehenna.
I can respect
the
that
music,
opinion.
the visuals, and the puzzles
Yeah.
combined with a mysterious plot jumbled up in the terminal entries. The game, of course, had some frustrating puzzles that, when complete, appeared so simple. The story itself was also pretty difficult to decipher. Terminal entries in the wrong order, some of which in binary, some found only through specific conversation paths with Milton or admin or Spider. For someone like me, it was perfect to explore. The Talos Principle is similar to Soma in so many aspects. It had a great story that stayed with me long after I finished it. While Soma left me with a feeling of dread and hopelessness, the Talos Principle filled me with hope. The Talos Principle 2 is also set to release later this year, and I am so excited for it. I want to see if we will meet up and work with some of the community of Gehenna, Samsara, the Shepherd. From the trailer, we can see that the game revolves around puzzles, so something must have happened for them to continue with that model. Maybe they are creating a new generation of AI.
Wait, do they have
I can only
portals?
speculate
That's
at
great.
this point. I have done my best not to explain how to solve the puzzles in the story. The game itself is a puzzle game, but in the story, the puzzles are just a fragment of it. They were simply used to test the logistical ability of the AI in order to push them to essentially think more. If you have not played this game, I highly recommend that you do. The game also has so many Easter eggs. There is a developer island, a little Minecraft section, electric sheep, a jetpack, a room with blocks from many other games, and the cat. The game is so full of them if you explore it more.
Oh yeah, there's a
These
tomb box.
Easter eggs also make sense in the game too. They would have been implemented during the creation of the world based on the information from the archive. When I saw Gordon Freeman's crowbar from Half-Life or the Portal Companion Cube, I was amazed. There's so many more too. The Talos Principle and Straton of Stajiro were theories and people created for the game, but they felt so real, and Crow Team even placed information about them on the internet.
That's really cool.
Crow Team also did a little self-insert there where they stated that Alex and the Talos team used their engine to create the simulation. A lot of thought and love went into this game. The amount of religious iconography is crazy too. A god who had created its first beings in his garden with a snake that attempts to manipulate them. A messenger that acts against his god and is cast out into a different realm. This is not just a puzzle game. It leaves you with so many thoughts after. I would love to know what you thought about it. If you woke up in Elohim's garden and discovered the truth of the simulated world and the human world, would you ascend the tower or just live in simulated bliss? The question this always comes back to is what makes a human human and what makes a person a person? Personally, if something has an intelligence where they can critically think about their surroundings and has their own personality and identity, they are a person, they are an individual. With how fast AI is advancing in our world right now, maybe it will not be too long before these philosophical and theoretical questions become reality. I would also like to say that Soma and the Talos Principle are probably two of the best games I have played through this year. I love the philosophical elements of them.
Yeah.
If you have any suggestions for games like these with a great story, please let me know. This was the complete timeline of the Talos Principle so far. If you enjoyed this, then please like, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and even share it. If you disagreed or genuinely disliked this, then also please let me know in the comments what you thought. I appreciate you watching this video regardless of how you felt about it. Also, subscribe for more content like this. As usual, I would like to thank my amazing gold tier patrons and channel members who got access to this video about a week ago. Jonas, Lewis, Queen Arby.
But yeah, I think that's going to be where we stop for today. We got through all of this stuff. And yeah, we got the DLC to check out, and eventually the second game. So yeah, that was a lot to take in, but very well put together, I will say. I think yeah, that was a good, like, lengthy but concise putting together of the timeline and, you know, a lot of the major concepts of the game. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Same time, we'll continue the Outer Worlds, which has been, yeah, the first, we started on Monday. That's been fun, and I'm definitely excited to keep going with that. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I'm gonna go eat something. And yeah, hope you have a great rest of your night. I will talk to you later. And yeah. Bye.